General Hospital spoilers. Lulu and Chase secretly do a DNA test, proving Joe's true identity. Port Charles is no stranger to secrets, but the latest revelation is about to send shockwaves through the town and destroy lives in the process. General Hospital fans, prepare yourselves. Lulu Spencer and Detective Harrison Chase are teaming up for a secret mission that could unravel everything Brooklyn, Dante, and even Sunny thought they knew about young Gio. This isn't just a casual DNA test. This is a ticking time bomb, and once the results come in, nothing will ever be the same again. Ever since returning to Port Charles after waking from her coma, Lulu has felt off about Gio. Though she had every reason to be grateful. After all, the young man had charmed his way into Dante's good graces and become a part of the extended Falconeri family. Something didn't sit right. Joe's mannerisms, the way he carried himself, and even the way he occasionally glanced at Lulu made her uneasy. There was a familiarity in his gaze, a warmth that went beyond simple admiration. At first, Lulu dismissed it as paranoia. After all, waking up to a world that had moved on without her was disorienting enough. But the feeling wouldn't go away. If anything, it intensified every time she saw Gio with Rocco, the subtle protectiveness, the half-possessive glances, like a brother guarding his younger sibling. Could it be possible? Could Gio be something more than he claimed? When Lulu first approached Chase with her theory, he thought she was reaching. He gently tried to dissuade her, suggesting therapy, rest, patience. But Lulu was persistent, and soon, facts started piling up that Chase couldn't ignore. Gio had never fully explained his past. His birth certificate, when Brooklyn had produced it for the Quartermaines, had inconsistencies, wrong hospital codes, a clerical error with the listed parents. Joe's rare blood type matched suspiciously with Dante's, not Brooklyn's. Worse yet, Chase found a sealed juvenile record in a state database, one that tied Gio to a mysterious case in upstate New York, a case involving a stolen infant, a black market adoption ring, and a missing file that someone, somewhere, had paid a lot of money to make disappear. It was enough. Chase agreed. They needed a DNA test. Quietly. Secretly. Before anyone could destroy the truth. Pulling off the test would require a stealth operation worthy of the WSB. Lulu and Chase knew that if Brooklyn, Dante, or even Sunny caught wind of what they were doing, it could trigger an emotional explosion, or worse, Sunny might decide to handle the situation his way. First, they needed DNA samples. Chase managed to lift a used coffee cup from Gio during a casual run-in at Kelly's. Lulu, trembling with guilt, snagged a strand of her own hair and secretly took a shirt belonging to Dante for good measure, ensuring a solid comparative match. They sent the samples to a trusted, anonymous lab outside Port Charles, under the pseudonym Project Eclipse. All they could do now was wait and fear the consequences. The results arrived in a plain manila envelope one rainy Thursday afternoon. Chase and Lulu met in the back room of Kelly's, hearts pounding, hands shaking. With a deep breath, Chase unfolded the papers. The headline in bold letters burned itself into Lulu's brain. Probability of biological relationship, 99.9%, mother/son. She stumbled backward, hand over her mouth. Tears filled her eyes. Gio wasn't just close to her. He was her son. The son she thought she lost, the child she never knew survived, stolen from her and Dante all those years ago during her coma, spirited away by unknown enemies, hidden and raised under an assumed identity. Brooklyn hadn't just lied. She'd participated in the greatest deception of Lulu's life. Memories slammed into Lulu like a freight train. She recalled faint murmurs in her hospital room. A nurse she didn't recognize. A shadow slipping out the door. She remembered Dante's crushed face when he had been told their child, a second child they hadn't even announced to the public, had been lost. It hadn't been true. It had never been true. Their baby boy had been alive all along. And now, standing before her every day, was the living, breathing proof. At first, Lulu felt overwhelming, mind-numbing rage. How dare Brooklyn keep this from her? How dare anyone hide her son from her and Dante? But the rage quickly gave way to something even deeper: grief. Gio had grown up without her. She had missed his first words, his first steps, his first day of school. She had missed everything. How could she reclaim him now without destroying him all over again? Chase found himself caught between two impossible choices: expose Brooklyn, the woman he loved, as a liar and potential criminal, or bury the truth, protecting Joe's fragile new life while letting Lulu continue to suffer. But Chase knew Lulu deserved the truth. Brooklyn's choices, no matter how well-intentioned, could not be allowed to stand. The people of Port Charles, and most of all Gio himself, deserved to know who he really was. Still, Chase warned Lulu. Once they told Dante, there would be no going back. Lives would be shattered. Families would be ripped apart. Was she ready for that? Tears streaming down her cheeks, Lulu gave a trembling nod. She had lost too much already. She would not lose Gio again. They confronted Brooklyn at the Quartermain mansion, choosing a day when Tracy, Ned, and Lois were conveniently absent. At first, Brooklyn tried to deny it. She claimed Lulu was hallucinating, that Chase had made a mistake, that DNA labs could be wrong. But when Lulu pulled out a second envelope, a private paternity confirmation linking Gio to Dante, Brooklyn collapsed into sobs. She confessed everything. How she had discovered Gio during Lulu's coma, hidden by a criminal group targeting high-profile families. How she had staged adoption papers, falsified records, and passed Gio off as her own to keep him safe from enemies. How she had sworn she was protecting Lulu, not hurting her. But none of it mattered. The damage was done. Telling Dante was the hardest part. He stared at Lulu in disbelief, then at Chase, then at Brooklyn, rage building with every breath. His fists clenched.
His voice shook.
He demanded to see the proof himself, and when he did, his knees buckled.
Gio.
His son.
His blood.
And he had spent the past 2 years treating him like an outsider, never knowing the bond that connected them. The betrayal Dante felt toward Brooklyn was indescribable. He had trusted her, loved her. And now that trust was gone. Gone, like the years he had lost with his boy. The final, devastating blow came when Lulu and Dante sat Gio down to tell him the truth. At first, Gio laughed it off, thinking it was some cruel joke. But as Lulu began to cry, real, broken sobs from a mother torn apart, realization dawned in his eyes. He wasn't Brooklyn's son. He wasn't the boy he thought he was. His entire life had been a lie. And he wasn't sure he could forgive any of them. The fallout in Port Charles will be nuclear. Brooklyn may face charges, and certainly will face exile from many who once loved her. Joe's future is uncertain. Will he embrace his real parents, or reject them for the pain they unknowingly caused? And what about Chase and Brooklyn's relationship? Can it survive this colossal betrayal, or is it the final nail in their coffin? As for Lulu and Dante, their bond will be tested like never before. The pain of the past still lingers between them, and while the revelation of Joe's true identity gives them a second chance at a family, it could also tear them further apart. One thing is clear: Port Charles will never be the same again. Stay tuned, General Hospital fans, because the storm is just beginning.